live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
Treacherous Trista.
And we have the fine folks here of Death Drop Gorgeous. We have two of them returning, but Chris Dalpe for the first time. It's very good to have you here.
Very excited to be here.
With the very cool lighting and a very nice dog. Hopefully he makes the run in later on. Michael Ahern.
Hello.
And very smiley over here. We have Brandon Perras.
Hello, how you guys doing?
He's a happy guy. He's a happy guy.
That's good. It's good to see. Yeah.
Chris is on the set of Suspiria tonight, which is fun.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I'm a little disappointed we didn't show up with kind of catchy nicknames though. I feel like
this comes. I have to start. I think we have to start preparing beforehand. Chris, you got Killer Chris.
Well, for tonight you can call me Broadway Brian, and we'll call it a day.
I kind of like that it's just one hallway that's lit up. I think that makes it even creepier than if it was.
It's the rest of the house is also lit up weird. But I just put the white light on for the kitchen so you could see my face.
The mother of whiskey.
So this is like a year and a half or so since the last time we talked to you, but for people who didn't see that last one, they should watch it. But can you give everyone an idea of what Death Drop Gorgeous is?
A monstrosity.
I like that. That's a good description.
Yeah. I was going to say fucking amazing, but that was just me.
Thank you. What did we say in that fake trailer? How we describe it? An abomination. I forget. We came up with all these really fun, like Herschel Gordon Lewis sayings to
nice.
But now they're all escaping me.
It's a story about a dejected bartender comes back from a bad breakup, gets his old job back at a bar ran by a corrupt bar owner. At the same time, there's a war between the old drag queens, the young drag queens, and in the midst of all this, there's a serial killer knocking off gay people and draining their blood, and yeah.
Got a few different things going on there.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen this fake trailer though. I'm gonna have to look this up after the show.
We have like 3 fake trailers, and we actually were joking about making like a 4th fake trailer the other day. You know how like modern horror movies, their trailers are always the same. It's like the staccato violin, and it's like a creepy voice singing a pop song but slowed down or whatever. We were gonna do that for Death Drop just for like shits and giggles. We haven't gotten to it yet. But I don't want to give away the pop song we decided for it. But it's gonna be great.
Did the fake trailers come before you actually made the movie? Was it like, is that how it came about?
The first one that we ever released, we did as kind of a promotion for our fundraiser. Like, so before any Death Drop was ever filmed, before we had any sound equipment, we did this ridiculous kind of mock trailer in order to kind of be like, this is the vibe we're going for.
And then after that, we made like a couple more just to kind of keep interest. We did one that was just, like Mike had said, kind of modeled after like early like Herschel Gordon Lewis trailers, like the Blood Feast one and the Painted Blood Red trailer, which are super funny.
It's just me wearing clothes that are probably like a couple sizes too big for me, like standing in a graveyard and giving this long monologue of how what you're about to see is like an act of abomination.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm glad that Herschel's coming up a lot because I'm a big fan of Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think, Mike, you said we were banned in like 17 countries.
Yeah.
This isn't a knock on Herschel movies. I enjoy them. But if you listen to the commentary track on Herschel Gordon Lewis movies, you'd swear like, oh, he must have made like the Gone with the Wind or the Citizen Kane before movie.
Is it the Something Weird movie where like you can see the actor reading lines off his hand?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it is that one. He comes back in the house after he leaves the church. If you look at him, like looking at his hand it's pretty good.
By the way, Something Weird video. That's probably my favorite opening. Like the opening for the Something Weird in other movies. I can just watch that. It's very fun.
It's so good.
So how did you three did you guys know each other before you started making the movie? I assume.
Brandon and I have been friends for like a handful of years. Like him and my sister went to college together, and that's kind of how I got connected with him. He was always the older gay that I was in love with. I was like, "You're so cool, and you love horror, and I want to be your friend." So stalked him for a little while, and now we're friends for life.
The restraining order ends in a few months, so
How did Mike hard Zoom journey?
How did Mike get involved? You just saw the mustache and like this guy.
Yeah, they were just like, and then that one can join us, I guess. I also saw Brandon across a red lit bar, and I was like, that guy is so handsome. And then, so Chris and I both fell in love with him on the spot. And
now we know him well enough just to be friends.
I only pull it off in bar lighting. If you see me during the day, no one's coming.
But for real, like Brandon and I had just been like drinking and like brainstorming. Like if we were to see like a gay slasher, what would that look like? And we were really focusing on the dating apps like Grindr and Scruff, and really just having fun, kind of brainstorming of different ways you could kill somebody in that like very easy platform for serial killers to do their business. And I think it was about a year later that Brandon had like mentioned this idea to Mike, and he was like, let's fucking do it. Let's write that script. And so Brandon got us all together. Mike and I did not fall in love when we first saw each other. I actually thought he hated femme boys. And so, but later in life, we just became best friends.
Yeah, that was the first night I met. The first night we started brainstorming the script was the very first night I met Chris.
He was in like gym shorts and like a jersey, and I'm like, this guy's gonna beat me up.
And then he realized he could probably beat me up instead.
True.
Well, kind of along those lines, if you have different personalities and stuff, how did that work when you're writing a script together?
Magic.
We actually like the best part about it is we all played to our strengths, which is good. I think we all have different approaches and likes in the horror genre, and when it came down to actually like writing a movie and filming it, just everyone just kind of fell into place as to where they were good, what they were good at, and what they needed to do, and it kind of it worked like clockwork. It actually, we lucked out because it doesn't work like that all the time.
Yeah, it was strangely easy. Like I feel like the writing process, even we were just having a lot of fucking fun. Like it was something I personally like looked forward to. We would meet like I think it was like every Tuesday evening. I think it was Tuesdays.
Yep.
And I just always looked forward to it. It was always like something that like Monday sucked and like Tuesday sucked, but I would at least have my boys to drink whiskey and write a screenplay with. So yeah.
And to go off of that, like it was kind of like a weird Dungeons and Dragons circle where we would basically just sit in a circle and make funny Rhode Island voices at each other until we found a line that we liked. And then we're like, ooh, write that down. And basically we just like made believe this whole story up.
Troy and I are longtime D&D players, so
without a doubt.
That's awesome.
So you get it. You do the voices, you do the outfits, and you get into it.
I just now noticed the Mutilator shirt. That's
Yeah,
pretty sweet. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
that's one of my faves.
Nice. This is. I don't make the show about me, but or about Without Your Head. But years ago, it was like a long time ago, 2005, 2006. We had the director of the Mutilator on.
Yeah.
At the time, he hadn't done any interviews, and he sent me a copy of the movie, and then like a week after the interview, he called me up and he's like, "Can you send that back?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "It turned out it was the only version of the uncut movie in existence." And he sent it to me on the only disc that existed of it. And so I sent it back. And then a couple years after that, Arrow got it and put out like the special edition. But if I didn't send it back, it would have been lost forever. But I was just I should have made a copy of that.
I haven't seen the uncut one yet. It's probably awesome because the cut one's actually pretty gruesome. I can't imagine the uncut one.
Yeah, it's
the Ebony Valentine uncut like changed my whole thing.
It's really different. Yeah,
I like that movie. It wasn't like one of my like go-tos, but then like Providence Horror, the PVD horror guys showed it at a brewery here, the uncut one. I was like, holy shit, it's very, very underrated. But like that cut version did not do that movie justice. Like it's great.
Yeah, I honestly think that's one of the most underrated slasher movies, especially if you see the unrated one, like you said.
Oh, totally.
The killer's cool, and I love the ending song, the ode to I forget his name, but the killer, and it's just like this. It's this very nice like folk song about a killer. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's got that kumbaya kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's not fitting for a horror movie, which I totally love about it. But yeah. Trista, do you have a question?
Yeah, you guys have thrown out a few titles, but I'd love to know what everyone's favorite horror film is.
Ooh.
I think my favorite horror film ever is Alien, which I know I guess could be considered sci-fi, but I just feel like it's a horror movie.
Horror.
Yeah,
it take place in space, but I would say it's
yeah. I just like such a well-paced film, and it's just like it's such a weird slow burn, and the body horror is terrifying. The whole concepts of the creatures are so terrifying to me. So I think that's probably my favorite horror movie.
Excellent choice.
So I always answer this in a very different way, but Alien is usually mine. So I'm mad that like Mike moved it first. So I'm gonna get like weirdly, like if I was gonna go second tier down, I usually, for the comedy aspect, I usually say Death Becomes Her for the balanced out like the genres. But I think Strangers on the Train. Oh, what was that?
I said that's an underrated movie, and I don't really hear a lot of people bring that up. It's probably the best hole in a person scene,
without a doubt.
And the fall downstairs scene, like epic. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. I think Death Becomes Her. I've seen that movie over 100 times. Like I'm annoying to watch it with, because I'll just be quoting the whole thing.
That's a unique answer.
My favorite movie of all time is I'm a huge nerd and Clive Barker fan. I just love the first Hellraiser so much. I think it's great. It's got such a unique story, unique characters. Yeah, that movie's just such a blast. It's so weird. The score is fantastic. Everything about it is just a good time. Especially like taking that little novella and making it into that film, and I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. No, yeah. We did a few years ago a Hellraiser week or month, and I revisited all the movies and read the book for the first time, the novella, like you said. And something I noticed though about the first Hellraiser, which I think is unique. Usually horror movies use a lot of red, but it's primarily blues in Hellraiser, and I think it's like the lack of it's almost like death. There's no color in everybody.
Oh yeah,
it's got a very cold feel.
The second one's really blue.
Yeah.
Really blue, like sucked, or really blue, like blue.
Hellraiser blue. It needed the money. So terrible. But are you excited for the reboot of Hellraiser?
No. I have some inside details on that. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. I have some friends in the biz, and they were kind of telling me why that script is getting tossed around, because I think people know that like it went from the French directors that did Martyrs, then it went to the I think the Frontier guy, and then it went to back to Clive Barker at one point, and then it kept getting passed around, and
that's usually a bad sign.
Yeah. But it got passed to a friend of mine, and what they wanted to do with it was just absolutely horrendous, and it was like a hard no. So I'm hoping that this is separate from this hot potato game they've been playing with it, but who knows?
Yeah, I know I'm probably in the minority. I did like the last Hellraiser. It's not like the greatest movie of all time, but it did some different stuff, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they're all totally rewatchable, even if they're not. I think the first one is still. It's like
the first one's really a movie unto itself.
I love that second one too. I love it.
Some people that's their favorite. Second one. So you guys get together, you write a movie, make the movie, post, then the festival scene, and now it's actually out. People, you don't have to go to a festival to see it. So what's that whole experience been like? I know that's a big giant question, but I would assume that really would does that make you guys closer and just this big long, experience of everything happening?
Well, the one thing with the fest is that COVID kind of screwed us. We didn't really get to go to any of the festivals. We did get into, I think, like around like 20-ish, but they were all online. The Vortex Festival in Rhode Island, they have like a horror, sci-fi, fantasy section, and they played a column of short films, and then ours at the drive-in. So that was kind of fun, like as their like way to get around the COVID stuff. But still, like nothing in person, unfortunately. But yeah.
Oh, one of, I think, the coolest things in the past couple months is I think when we were in the festival scene, like in like post production, a lot of the wins and the successes of the where we were at was like kind of like our team, but with the distribution and it out there in the world, I feel like a lot of our cast and crew, like the full cast and crew, gets to like celebrate, and I feel like they're all kind of feeling the win of getting to see their city out there, their local drag queens out there, their local music out there. And it's just been like a fun way to celebrate with a lot of folks who helped make this movie possible.
How about yourself, Mike?
Yeah, I think that's like, I agree with both the boys, but it's also been really, we've been getting such like kind reviews and like from strangers, and it's so insane when like someone writes this very thoughtful review that almost reads like a thesis, and you're like, they like, not that I didn't like believe in what we made, but it's so exciting when someone can like pull what we were doing and like just eloquently like write this beautiful review and how what their experience was like. So just to have that sort of effect on some stranger in some state, or even if some of them, our distributor also like reached out to reviewers in like Canada and stuff. So, but just like to have that sort of, you go to the movies to have an experience. So to like provide that experience for some stranger has been like kind of weird and surreal and really awesome. So I've been loving that. I've been loving reading people's reactions.
Yeah. Was it a hard movie to get distribution for? What was that process like? I assume you hadn't gone through something like that before.
No, it was a learning process for all of us. And thankfully, Roman Chimenti and Tyler Jensen, who made the Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street documentary.
Yeah. Been on the show a few times.
They've been such great resources and mentors for us. And they've been doing this thing for a little bit now, so we relied on them a lot, and the distribution process was like probably not the same as most films. We're obviously a very like particular kind of film, and
particular
and we had like we talked to like some here and there, and then and nothing really like stuck, and then like almost sort of like, I don't know, in the 9th inning, Dark Star came through, and then we made that leap.
It was kind of like online dating for a long time.
Right.
We like set up these relationships, like we like had these like really great first dates, and then they just don't call you back, and you're like, excuse me, but you made a lot of promises in that first conversation.
I gotta give a shout out to Kay from Salem Horror Fest too, because she kind of had a hand in helping us with Dark Star too. She is fantastic. She's a great resource for anyone looking to get into the indie horror world. So she's fantastic. But yeah.
Anything stand out? I know it was virtual festivals, but any experiences with the festival stand out? I guess Salem stands out.
Yeah, we got to see one of the best parts, like having a movie in the fest, is you get to like do it for free, because they can be kind of pricey, especially the amount of them we were in. But we saw a lot of really great indie horror, and we made a lot of connections with these other directors and actors, and that was really cool. Like one thing we've been talking about lately is like just kind of like, I believe like the gory prosthetic effects and like the like more graphic sex and shit that you're going to see, it's going to come more from the underground and more from the DIY world. I think Hollywood's kind of toning their stuff down a lot. So I'm hoping that like people start getting sick of it and start looking back into like, there's a huge thriving underground scene with really good movies out there that are just waiting to be seen. It's just a matter of like getting them into the right places and the right hands. And I don't know. So I'm hoping that there's going to be like an upheaval at some point.
Yeah, like a revival of like new ideas and fresh ideas. I'm not gonna like say names of things, but like we've watched movies here at the house, and so many kills are off screen, or it's just like a CGI mess, and you're just kind of like, what is? I don't know. It's just it's not. It almost feels like I don't know. It's just not as satisfying. But Salem Horror Fest was definitely probably one of the highlights. It was just such a great like community, and it was like because it was virtual, like everything was happening online and on Twitter, and like seeing people react in real time to Death Drop. And like Brandon said, the other films and the other filmmakers that were in it were so supportive and so sweet. We actually won the audience award at Salem Horror Fest, which felt like a really big feat. That was really cool.
I know Shudder's been grabbing some of those titles that we played with too, which is cool. Bleed With Me, which I thought was really fun, is on Shudder.
Trista and I both really like that too.
Yeah, the other movie I always with the name of that starts with an R. The guy and the girl in the possession. They filmed on iPhones. I always
Threshold.
Threshold.
Yeah.
I heard a
that's
rumor
good
that they
stuff.
might be getting on there. I don't know if that's true or not, but someone had said something on Twitter about it, so they might end up on there as well too.
Yeah, that year for Salem Horror was so good. Like we had Bleed With Me, Threshold, The Strings, which I don't know that it's gotten distribution yet, but it 100% will. That was a great film. Danny and the Vampire, we were on there. Like it was just like it was a fucking great festival for
Was that
horror.
Backroad? Was Backroad on there, or was that another fest?
I think that was Houston
Houston.
Horror. That one was a trip, but
If you guys see Backroad pop up on something, it is like such a sleazy, gory 80s throwback. It's a blast. You can tell they had fun making that movie. It's disgusting. Just keep an eye out for that one. We loved it.
But you were saying about Shudder and stuff. That is a fun part about doing the festivals. Then like you get to see all these movies like a year before they start hitting Shudder. And even if you sometimes you might have met the director, and even if you didn't, though, you feel like a connection to it. Like, hey, I saw this movie when it was just playing a festival, and not now like a lot of people are seeing it. It's pretty cool.
yeah, no, it's fun to see them. Like, it's fun to see. It feels like your peers. Like, it feels like you went to college together almost. And like seeing them succeed has been so exciting. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's especially when you recognize them and they follow you on Twitter and they like when you're succeeding. I don't know. It just feels like a nice, like, warm-hearted like community through Salem Horror.
Yeah, I agree totally. And it does seem like horror fans and horror filmmakers are very accepting of other because. A lot of different types of people like horror movies. It could be some crazy guy with a bunch of tattoos or some normal looking guy. But I think if you have a common love, you tend to gravitate and like each other.
It's the truth. There was like another interview we just had. Someone was saying it's like you get these like horror conventions together. There's hundreds and hundreds of people there. There's not a single fight. It's just everyone is like so chill. You leave making a bunch of friends, and it is very true.
Yeah, I have very few negative experiences ever. I don't think any at a festival, just one at a convention, but I don't like to talk about it. But there's videos of me talking about it. Troy, do you have a question? Now, Troy had Death Drop Gorgeous on his 13 best movies of the year during our 2020.
I did indeed. It was.
Oh, thank you.
That one just really, really grabbed me. It just kind of blew my little mind.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know if any of you guys are excited about Shudder's got the new season of Dracula coming up.
Oh yeah.
I remember last time you were the one that told me to check it out.
Yeah, we're all pretty excited for it. Obviously, Victoria Elizabeth Black from season 2 did a huge portion of our special effects. So that show is just like some of the things those contestants come up with is just so fascinating. Like some of their minds just are so intriguing, and the things that they make. So yeah, no, we're excited for that.
I'm psyched for a Hozo Teratoma. She's gonna be a wild one. I think her stuff is fantastic. A lot of things she does is based in folklore. So she does these crazy wild monsters.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I always like the ones that look. I want them to look fucking scary. And she looks. She looks terrifying. So
it seems like this whole season, the whole cast looks pretty spooky.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for it.
You said someone involved in that did your special effects. How did that come about?
Well, we were watching season 2, and I fell in love with Victoria. Victoria Lives with Black. I thought I love Bitch Pudding, but I think Victoria kind of had that season in the bag. But I did more research on her and saw she had her own little like special effects studio. I was like, oh, I wonder if she would be interested in doing special effects for us. Because we were reaching out to a lot of people in like New York, and the prices were outrageous. It was a lot of money, and I was like, how the fuck are we going to do this? So on a whim, reached out to her. They got back to us super quick. Price was great. They stayed here for a week, banged out 3 of our really big death scenes. We're super professional. Her and her partner, who Opulence Black, also does drag as well, is really good. They just were. I highly recommend if anyone's looking for special effects for their film. They were just like super pro, super quick. Like just they came here with a vision and banged it out, and we couldn't ask for anything better. It was great.
That was such a fun week, too, because basically, like during the day, like we would work on all of like these prosthetics, getting like certain things ready for the next day. But then we also got them booked at a bunch of the drag bars in Providence. So then we would bring them out and it was just a cool like party week where we
that's great.
Made some gross shit and then also celebrated.
I love it. So is that where you met the I forget the names escape me, the guys who made the Mark Patton documentary? Did you meet them on the festivals too?
Oh, so we met them at Salem Horror Fest. So Devin, he scored half the film. He's friends with Linnea Quigley, and he was like, hey, do you want to come to Salem Horror meet Linnea Quigley? We're like, absolutely. So went down there, hung out with them, and then I can't remember if it was the first year, the second year. We went back, I think it was the second year. Went back the second year, and Tyler and Roman were there. We were just at this after party at this awesome sushi bar that books shows and does like DJ nights. And then they came over and said hi to Linnea. Then we also started chatting, and me and Roman gave us his card because he does post audio work, and we really needed that done. And he was like, I really want to help you guys. Contacted him, and then kind of just connected that way. And they're just like the best dudes. They're really nice. And I recommend them if you ever need a trailer cut, if you ever need like any sound stuff done. They're both like fantastic, just really, really talented.
Yeah, Devin's a good guy too. I'm friends with him, and it's
nice.
He's doing very good lately. He's open about this. He got clean and stuff the last few years. And
and now he's like in realty and like
I know that's
selling
really
houses and wearing like fancy clothes. and like under those
very prim and proper looking, and he's got pictures in realty. And I was like, this isn't the Devin I know, but cool for him.
He probably says the same about you, Neal, now that you're all good.
Yeah. It would be weird if you bought a house from him and you looked up maybe some of his music videos or something.
Oh yeah.
But you said, it's a gory movie, and it's a crazy movie. But so did that ever come up with distribution? Anyone like, we want you to cut this movie down, cut these scenes out?
Thankfully, no, right, guys? I feel like there was talks of like, well, what about that prosthetic penis? And we were like, it's sort of right now at a we'll cross that bridge when we come to it type of thing. But nothing had to be cut. One person did ask us to shorten the movie by 15 minutes, and we were kind of like, no. But other than that, no, nothing yet. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, etc., etc.
It's like the world recognized that us having a dong through a glory hole in a meat grinder was an important moment. Like that was an important moment of cinema that like
without a doubt.
That they're like, we can't ask them to take this away. We can't accept this.
You know those books that are like 501 movies you need to see before you die? They're just like the reason for Death Drop Gorgeous is just that glory hole scene. It's like changes cinema forever.
Yep.
I'm nervous because like apparently the rule of Amazon is you can't show an erect penis, but if it's not attached to a body, you can show it. So you could show someone's.
It seems like it would even be.
You gotta protect
the severed penis as long as it's not attached.
Yeah.
It's pretty specific. I like that.
These people at Amazon are real weirdos.
They're like, we don't want to see lady nipples or hard dicks. Everything else, go.
It is weird that female nudity is like gets a much. It's fine for the most part, but any kind of penis in a movie, it's like whoa. What are you trying to do?
All the more reason to chop them off.
Trista, do you have another question?
Halloween is next month. Do you guys have any costume ideas for yourselves?
So, I'm gonna do like a pretty grotesque rotten mummy this year. So that's my plan.
I like this.
Yeah,
Mummies don't get enough love. There's not a
No.
true.
werewolves. and
Make
vampires.
mummies cool again. Make mummies
Yeah.
cool again.
That's a good hat.
There's this historic building in Providence called the Barnaby Castle that a friend of ours lives in and renovates it by running fundraiser parties. So she does a big Halloween party every year. And because I'm cheap as hell and I don't pay a ticket, I just be part of her costume. So every year we kind of think of like a weird combo. So we're all going to be kind of like death flowers, like human, like
You're like a living costume.
yes, like so basically think like Renaissance gestures with like kind of like the frilly neck things, but basically kind of like zombie flowers in a way. That's what I got.
That's much more intriguing than what I'm thinking of. How about yourself, Mike?
I think I don't know if I'm committed to this yet, but my friend Desiree loves Courtney Love. And so she was going to be Courtney Love and I was going to be Madonna from the VMAs when Courtney Love threw like tampons at her or whatever. So we were just going to maybe like, I don't have big Halloween plans, but maybe we're going to like walk around with her just like throwing stuff at me while I'm Madonna.
I
You get good reactions that way, I think.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I'm going to be going to the 12-hour horror movie marathon in Brookline at the Coolidge Corner Theater.
Any
from midnight to
costumes?
noon. I do actually have my costume already picked out because so one of the headliner movies is Halloween 3 at the marathon, and so I'm going as the skeleton kid. You know, it's the three that wear the masks. So
Yeah,
I have it all picked out already.
that's awesome.
I was going to do the pumpkin, but I figured everyone does the pumpkin. So
Yeah.
what's the pumpkin? He's just got the pumpkin head. Then he's just got like regular clothes on. I guess I could glue like worms coming out of my head or something.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I already got the skull mask, so we're going with that. Troy, do you have anything?
Just handing out candy.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to dress up to give out the candy?
I probably will. I don't know if I can do some 8-minute abs, I'll be craving the hunter, but that probably won't happen. So I'm thinking probably Jafar.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
Chris suggested you'd make a good werewolf at one point.
Yeah, werewolf would be fun. I don't know. We'll see if I want to put that much effort into it.
But with the beard, I can see the Jafar.
Yeah, definitely. I'll twist that bad boy up.
Do you have a parrot by chance? That
I wish I did. I have a tortoise, if that's close. I can put a tortoise on my shoulder. I'll be like, oh, that's a huge surprise. I'm gonna have a heart attack with that surprise. I should just do Iago.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
should,
should.
I was just gonna say.
what I always loved about Jafar is he's like a very understated, like gay character. Like he is a total homosexual, even though he's like really trying to kidnap Jasmine and all that shit. But like he is.
Yeah,
That's
down deep inside.
overcompensation. Yeah.
Yep.
Trist, how about yourself? Do you have any plans for Halloween?
I'm usually a cat or a mouse, but I'm not sure what I'm doing.
I'm sure we'll probably dress up for the show too. At least I will. I usually dress stupid for the show every time. They're amazing for the show. By the way, when you were talking about mummies, do you have a favorite mummy from a movie? Because just underrated mummy is the mummy from Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, which I think is
Without a doubt.
mythology.
Yeah.
The mummy is very cool in it.
I think that's the best one too. I love that one.
It's really creepy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seems like now they want like sexy mummies, which I don't think I don't think that's a weird mix. Like like a mummy's old and dry, and like that doesn't scream sexy to me. I don't know. But what do I know? I don't know.
But what I loved about them, like in the era of like kind of English like colonialism, of just like we're just gonna steal a bunch of like ancient relics. Like it was like a
And
white
use them as
people-
fuel. They would throw them in like locomotives. And,
I just love the idea that like it was a punishment like to like modern society for like fucking with old stuff.
I like that. So you guys mentioned Linnea Quigley getting involved through Devin, and she's really been supportive of the movie. So it wasn't like she just showed up, was in the movie. After that, she came on the show, and she's really been supportive. What was she like?
She was super, super sweet. She's just this like free spirit. Like she's definitely marching to her own drummer. That saying. Loves animals. Is just such a good person. I don't know. She's like how bubbly and sweet she is contagious. Like she definitely like kept everyone laughing and everyone smiling. She's what you see is what you get with her. She's great.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all agree. We're big fans of Linnea.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can check out. We picked out some quotes of her from the last interview, which were very fun. And
she has some good ones.
Didn't she also have like a sequel idea too for the movie? She was like Gloria in Perras, wasn't it?
That's right. I think you're right.
That was her idea. That's all she gave us. So I don't know if there's more, but Gloria in Paris.
She's on to
You have
something.
the title. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I think she just wants to go to Paris.
The rest will work itself out.
Are there plans to do a sequel or expand this world?
We get asked this question so much that I'm starting to believe we should just start writing one.
Yeah, it's fun to be asked this because, like, I mean, obviously it's left in such a way that there could be a sequel. But we don't have like any formal plans. We don't have any specific ideas. We've all kind of like talked about like, what if we did this and maybe that. But if a very rich like producer wants to throw us a bunch of money, then we'll bang out that sequel real quick. But right now, no formal plans.
Oddly enough, the projects that we are working on, like there was the script Queen of the Rats, and then the one Saint Drogo, which is kind of halfway through production. I think what we've all had fun with is that we're with creating these storylines that are all very local. It's possible that all of the universes of these movies could actually like overlap. So not to say we're like getting all Marvel pretentious on everyone, but like there's some cute overlaps.
Yeah, there's like little Easter eggs that we have planned.
Death Drop universe.
Yeah. Whatever. So this weird Providence, whatever it is in our heads. We're halfway through production of Saint Drogo, which will be our next film. So that's
exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. There's like a sort of a teaser concept trailer on Vimeo right now if folks want to take a look. It's very moody. And it'll be different than Death Drop, but I think people will be also impressed with like how much we've grown as storytellers, as filmmakers. And you'll see some familiar faces too, just not in drag this time.
Oh, that's very exciting. And mention that people are asking about a sequel, but it's also fun to just do something completely different, and write a completely new story. So can you tell us anything about this besides, that there's the Vimeo trailer up there?
Yeah. So, in COVID, we wrote 2 scripts. Queen of the Rats was the first one, but we're going to need a real budget for some aspects of that. So we decided to put that on hold to focus on Saint Drogo. And so we wrote something that like deliberately we wanted to be able to execute it, and we wanted it to be smaller, still challenging. Like it's not like it's just like 2 people talking in a car for an hour and a half. Like there's still scenes that we need to execute that are really big, a lot of good special effects. But it's about this couple whose relationship is grown like a little bit strained, and they're kind of like missing each other conversational wise. And one of them is being plagued by these very disturbing nightmares of his ex. And they decide to take a vacation to Provincetown, Cape Cod in the off season. And
Right by me?
yeah, it's so beautiful out there in the winter, creepy and bleak, and that was a setting I really wanted to explore. I really wanted to explore because I dated someone who lived in P-Town full time, and when I'd go there in the winter, it was just such a like drastic contrast to P-Town in the summer. So I really wanted to explore that setting, and I wanted to do something that was a little like mysterious. And so Brandon wrote this really beautiful outline, and we kind of went from there. And so yeah, the couple ends up going to P-Town, and one half of the couple finds out that his ex, who had been working there for the summer, has gone missing. And so it sort of begins this journey of him kind of searching for him. And as that's happening, their relationship is sort of crumbling. He's plagued by more disturbing imagery. And yeah, and then it gets fucking crazy in the last 30 minutes, like it does Death Drop. So
What you said there is kind of true about all of Cape Cod, because the summer is such a big tourist community. Everyone's coming here, and then the winter, people aren't coming down here, and plus you have the big season change, so everything looks different. And
yeah,
it is a much completely different from winter to the summertime.
E-Town though, Neal, it's such a huge difference. Like if you're trying to make it down Commercial Street in the summer, like it takes forever, and in the winter there's nobody around. You can just walk over to Spiritus Pizza and have a good time. It's good.
right. And it's funny because obviously I don't know if you guys watch American Horror Story, but this new season it takes place in Provincetown in the off season, which is like a total weird coincidence. Like we were in the middle of, I don't know if we had started already filming or if we had like started gearing up to film when we heard about it, and we were like, are you fucking serious? But when we were so we filmed about like 60% or so already, so we just have like a good chunk to finish this fall, winter, and spring. And when we were in P-Town filming this past winter, like we'd hear folks be like, oh, that's the American Horror Stories. Like they kind of like they like thought we were them, and they left us alone. Like they were all very nice. No one was, but
that's probably good then.
Yeah, it was kind of good, but also very silly because it's like us three, like I don't know, there's no one famous. Like we have one cameraman. Like it's not, but I guess they thought we were Ryan Murphy and co. So.
If you get like free drinks out of the deal, don't complain.
Oh my god! I should have tried that.
Yeah. Don't you know who I am? Come on.
Just a quick friend of the show, Craig Lindbergh, worked on the special effects, the makeup for that season of American Horror Story.
Oh, cool. I only saw the first 2 episodes, so I haven't finished it. I
haven't watched any of the season yet.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. I really have.
My dad and my partner have been watching it, so I've caught glimpses. But the fact that my dad's been watching it and there's enough fear elements, I actually was like, I think you're ready for Death Drop Gorgeous.
There you go.
And he enjoyed it. He thought we wrote a good story.
Awesome.
I'm like, all right, great. Salt of the Earth cowboy who was born in the 50s. You're welcome.
That's very cool. How about the rest of you? Has your family watched Death Drop Gorgeous?
Yeah, surprisingly enough, yeah.
Yeah, my mom watched it when so we premiered at Wicked Queer, which is the LGBTQ film fest in Boston, and I called my mom after, and her reaction, she was like, it was very good, but did you have to do all of that? Meaning like all the blood and stuff? And I was like, well, which one bothered you most? And she said the Brandon's at the end. She was like, why'd you have to do all of that? It was just like, I don't know.
Can we actually take that as like an official quote? Because I love it. Like,
yeah,
it was good, but did they have to do all of that?
Yeah, that was great on the box cover. Yeah,
right. Yeah, right on the DVD. It was really good, but did you have to do all of that? And that's just the review.
And then, like in interviews, we'll just be like, "Death Drop Gorgeous." We did all of that.
Yeah, and you can also include your other quote earlier. It's a very peculiar film. A particular film.
Particular.
Peculiar film. By the way, Brandon, what's your cat's name?
Oh, that's Lynx.
She's very cute.
She keeps bugging me. She wants some camera time.
Oh, you should put her on.
Sweetest cat. ever.
Yeah, when I first met Lynx, I was like, "Oh, Link." So I like played Legend of Zelda when I was growing
I was
up,
exactly thinking.
and I
Link.
was like, "Oh, Link from Legend of Zelda." And Brandon's like, "No, like the sausages."
I actually thought it was always like the cat Link.
That's what I was thinking with an X. Yeah, that's kind of what.
I've known this cat for
yeah.
like 10 goddamn years. I guess I never thought to
Yeah,
ask.
I went right to Zelda too, and Links I get sausage links. So that one's I did not expect that. I guess you're just a big fan of sausage. I guess. I don't know.
He's actually a vegetarian.
Oh, where the hell does this name come from? I'm very confused now.
Most of us are vegetarians, which, like, fun fact, the meat grinder scene, those are veggie hot dogs.
Oh, really?
Ah,
And the sausages too.
Sausage links, yeah.
The sizzling sausages are also vegetarian. No
That's
animals
a
are harmed.
name, you know, vegan sausage links. Trista, do you have another question?
Do you guys have any advice for aspiring creators?
Oh, we have so much advice.
Yeah.
I think first, that at least what I would want to say is like collaborate and like find your people, because I could not have like made even a short film without these two guys. So if it wasn't for them, and if it wasn't for like our community and everyone we kind of roped into this very insane film, it wouldn't have existed. So I think for a long time I was just very solo in like my creative like endeavors, and it wasn't until I started working with them that I realized the value of collaboration. So yeah, find your people, and like, and there's like, I don't know, yeah, collaborate.
I gotta just jump on that because I agree so much. Like, I think as artists, we're all supposed to be so capitalist in our approach and philosophy of like, how do you market yourself and create your career? And the idea of being like, I'm supposed to be this is my job, this is what I'm going to make. Like, I feel like that's really creatively stifling. And there were so many ideas that like we shared together that just got better together. Like, sometimes I make too many jokes for my own good and I don't take anything too seriously, but then these boys show up and they're like, but let's take this seriously, and magic happens. And I get inspired back. Like, I think it's just like the circle of inspiration that kind of really helped sustain the project.
The best advice I can give too is, along with all of that, is just, if you have a story you want to tell, just tell it. You don't have to worry about what anyone thinks, just do it. Don't be afraid to reach out to your community. There's a lot of people out there that love this stuff, like businesses, friends, actors, people, they want to help and do their thing. Like, everyone wants to be a part of horror movies and jumping in. So, never be afraid to ask for help or ask for favors. People want to do it. There's a lot of resources now to help you make movies too. There's DaVinci Resolve. It's a free editing program that's you can download. So I think it's better than Premiere and Final Cut. There's all kinds of tutorials online for it. Even just, people are filming actual movies on their cell phones now. Like, you don't need a big fancy camera. If you're ever looking for like, cheap equipment to order for like lighting or sound, like, feel free to message any of us. We can give you the list of stuff that we use. That's I think now more than ever, it's more within people's grasp to make an actual full-length film. That, there's just so much you can get now. So don't be afraid. Just, try to do your best and see what you are capable of, and just do it.
Like we said there too about the community, because you've mentioned many times about Providence, and this is a very Providence film. And I think a lot of people think, I have to be in LA or New York. And obviously, if you are, you have more people around. But I think everywhere has some type of film community where they can find some people to make stuff with, or, do whatever with.
Absolutely. I think also, and I've said this before in a couple other interviews, like, I don't know that the film could have existed or like would have ever existed if we were in an LA or New York. Like, I think it's because of the size of Providence and how the community responded to our project and how supportive everyone was, that like people got excited for it, like they invested in it. And I don't know that sort of like camaraderie or energy or even community, I'm sure it exists in pockets in bigger cities, but I think like if we needed something and we outreached someone, like most of the time, they were supportive and they were down to help. So I don't think Death Drop would have existed in a bigger city. I think because of the size of Providence and how close knit the community is why it happened at all.
How did the people that were involved, the music, the places you filmed at, did they all get to see the movie, and what did they think of it?
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not talking to us anymore. But
that's why you go to Provincetown.
No, but I think like earlier when I was saying, like, one of my favorite parts about this next chapter is the communal success. Like, I think everyone feels a little bit of ownership of this film, like the little bits that they contributed, the little parts that they were in, the little fundraising that they participated in. Like, again, it took us 5 years to make this film, so a lot of people have been invested with us along this whole journey. So I think it's just really redemptive. Like, there's a lot of, like, validation and vindication to be like, we fucking did it and we did it together kind of vibe.
I do like the idea that they ran you out of town, though, like with torches, like at the end of the old Universal monster movie or something. But I'm glad they did. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, people can contact you if they wanted advice. But how can people follow you guys, and how can they follow the movie? See what's up with it, or what you guys are going to do in the future?
Yeah. So Death Drop Gorgeous, if you search that on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, you should be able to find us. Our poster's that bright pink one, so it's like not hard to miss. So we're pretty active on all three of those. We actually also, I thought something that we didn't mention was, so after Death Drop, we decided to kind of start our own little production company. So we started this production company called Monster Makeup. And if you go to search for that on Facebook or Instagram, we're on there. It's sort of like a seafoam green monster lady. It looks pretty cool. Chris designed the graphic. And so we just kind of wanted to start that to, like, not just have our feature films, but we're going to try to also create other events locally and work on other projects. Like, Brandon just directed a music video for this local band called Anxious Wave, who were featured in the punk show in Death Drop Gorgeous. So I think we're going to continue to do, like, bigger things like features, but also like music videos and smaller things, and throw some events too. So if you want to follow whatever messes we're getting into, Monster Makeup, we'll have news there. And then St. Drogo is also on Facebook and Instagram, and we will be posting updates there, hopefully throughout the fall and winter.
Yeah, we have so many favors to pay back for, like, making for making Death Drop Gorgeous, that I'll be making drag queen, like, fundraising event posters for the rest of my life. Like, for the rest of my life, I'm, like, committed to pro bono work of, like.
By the way, who did the new poster? I do like the poster.
That was our production company. So their marketing team designed it. They sent us, like, a handful of designs, and that was kind of the one not only that they liked, but that we really liked as well. And it has the beautiful Kelly Square is the name of the drag queen on the poster. So yeah, it was Dark Star's marketing team that made it.
That's interesting, because there are times where a movie will be at a festival and I think they'll have a very cool poster, and then they'll get distribution, and then they'll have a very typical poster. And I always think it's actually a downgrade, but I actually thought the new poster is very cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. We do have, like, a very exciting sort of, like, teaser poster that we're going to do as, like, a limited merch thing, hopefully soon, because we commissioned this artist in South America to do a very cool 80s, like, style
nice.
Poster. So we're excited to we're excited to get that out there. We think we're going to try to, like, get some merch of it. So
that was going to be my next question. A shirt or even the posters would be cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool because he's another queer artist and did such a good job. And so the company we're working with right now is Binge Press and, like, the Queer Archive. So it's just another, like, collective collaborators of, like, queer artists who can kind of produce artist prints. So I think that it just follows, like, the philosophy of our movie of being like, if a queer person can do it, let's get them.
It's another quote for the
right.
All right. So how about yourself, Brandon? Where can people follow you?
All the same places: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the fun.
Yeah. Well, this has been very fun to talk to you guys again, and we're all looking forward to the next movie.
Oh, thank
Without a
you.
doubt. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
If anything, the sort of like response we've gotten from Death Drop these past couple of weeks has only like invigorated us more. Like it's been really
Nice.
exciting. So yeah, I'm more excited now to like for folks to see Saint Drogo
Yeah.
and to see how much we've grown.
That's interesting too, because a festival can have a different audience than not necessarily mainstream people watching it, but a bigger audience, because people go festivals expect a certain kind of movie or love some weird movie, but you don't know if that's going to if it gets out there to a bigger audience, if they're also going to accept it. But people digging it.
Yeah, I think like if you go in like knowing what you're getting into, like we obviously didn't like make Hereditary. Like if you're looking for like sort of an elevated horror that's a metaphor for family grief or whatever, like you're not gonna get that in Death Drop. But if you want to have like a fucking fun time and like throw a party and like I don't know, watch with your friends and like laugh and scream and cover your eyes, then like Death Drop's the movie for you.
That is one. We want everybody to be safe, but it would have been. I could definitely see it being a fun movie to watch with an audience if it would have had the in-person festival.
Yeah, I think we have some plans on a local level to do an in-person thing. So hopefully we get to experience that, because we always say that like Death Drop, is supposed to be seen in a crowd, like at least with a group of friends. Like it's supposed to be a group activity, and I think. It only feeds off of other people. You only feed off of like other people reacting to it. So hopefully sometime in the future.
Yeah, and if in like 60 years, there's like some stupid dive bar that's like playing like Death Drop Gorgeous, and it's like a night of 100 Glorias, I will die happy. Like that's actually all I ever cared about. Like of creating some kind of iconic monster that people will party with.
And you'll be right there. You'll be
Yep.
guesting on. You'll be like the Herschel Gordon Lewis to those people.
You think
Or I'll
Trista's
look just
making
like I am now because I've been bathing in blood.
Oh, nice.
We'll find out, I guess. All right. Well, this has been very cool, and we will do this again sometime.
Oh, we'd love to. Thank you guys for having us. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you so
guys for
much.
doing this.
It's always so
Congratulations.
much fun.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Now I'll wave awkwardly as I hit end.
We'll just keep doing it with you.
Yeah.
I feel bad. The only way this will save is if I just end meeting, but so.